When you start, if you sort of think about the history of entrepreneurship and innovation over the last 200, 250 years, people have really succeeded when two things have been true. When you start a business where you create something of value to the world and you capture some fraction of the value you create. So you create X dollars in value and you get Y% of X. So pretty straightforward math formula. But I think one of the things that people always get wrong is that X and Y are these totally independent variables. And so X can be very big and Y can be 0% a lot of the time. And I think it is, and I think one of the things that's both unusual about software and why Silicon Valley is so incredibly dynamic right now and so successful is because in a lot of these software businesses, people are actually able to capture some decent fraction of the value of what they create. There are many other innovations where this was not the case. The airline industry in the U.S. over 100 years has basically made almost no money. It's been, it's good for society that we have airplanes, but you have about 180 billion a year in domestic ticket sales on airlines, 50 billion a year in search advertising on Google. So you'd say, if you measure it that way, say the airline industry is still more important than search on Google. We'd rather do without Google than without airplanes, probably, if you had to sort of pick between one or the other. But Google as a company is worth 6 times as much as all the airplane companies combined. And I think this, again, reflects this monopoly versus competition dynamic. And I think it is sort of this strange reality that an awful lot of scientists and inventors always have this fantasy that, of course, they're going to get rewarded massively for their inventions, but the somewhat disturbing history is that this has often not been the case. In the first industrial revolution in Britain, where you had the textile factories in the 18th and 19th century got started, it was a lot of innovation, a lot of improvements, but even in 1850, 1860, 100 years into the Industrial Revolution, the great fortunes in Britain were still all the landed aristocracy. The people who started the textile factories, the owners of them, made very little money because all the profits were competed away. They had failed to be differentiated enough. And so I think this is always something to think through really hard. And there is something about software that is so powerful today because it is really this exceptional industry in which the people who create things of value are able to capture some fraction of what they create.